You're now tuned in to Visible Found Paid, powered by The Cool Source, where we bring you digital marketing, business development, and everything in between. Host Eric Woodson, agency CEO and serial entrepreneur, shares tips, tools, and more on how he took his business from a one-man startup to a multi-million-dollar agency, and how to help you achieve the ultimate goal of getting visible, found, and
paid.
Hey, welcome to this week's episode, guys. This one is so exciting for us because we finally have our first in-house guest, the one and only Amani Wyatt. Thank you so much for coming to the Cool Source and Visible Found Paid.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope I can provide some good insight.
Look, you're no stranger to the Cool Source, even though you're new to the show. And he's a friend of Eric's and of the team and the company, and he definitely has a story that needs to be told. And what better way to tell your story than talk about how to secure the bag? So this week we want to talk about Amani's journey. Like we see him around. Eric knows more than I do, so I'm the inquisitive one here. We're gonna get to some questions and just have a really good conversation, and talk about, everybody's talking about go secure the bag, but there's so many ways to do that. You don't necessarily have to do a traditional startup. There's some ways to come right into it and really earn revenue with a cash flowing business, and there's some non-traditional methods of doing that. Amani can tell us a little bit about it and even the growing pains of shifting from being from an employee to an entrepreneur. It's a mindset shift, there's a schedule, lifestyle shift, a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Stress shift.
A stress. Is that a stress elevation?
Yeah. Different stress. The stress isn't elevated. It's different.
It's a different kind.
And I welcome it. It's a different kind of stress that I have a different perspective on versus being an employee. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. This is going to be good. He sounds like he's ready to get to it. So let me tell you more about the man who is behind the mic today. Amani Wyatt is the president of Signal 88 Security of South Atlanta. Signal 88 Security provides innovative tech-driven solutions to the physical security patrol, and guard space. Signal 88 is unique within the industry in that it's a franchise concept, so its owners are backed by a franchisor, which allows them to have a small firm client responsiveness and customer service along with a global presence of the Fortune 500 larger security firms. So he stepped right into something successful, which is pretty cool. Their clients vary in size from small events to Fortune 100 companies and beyond. As an Atlanta native from ATL, he is an alum of St. Pius X High School and attended the Hampton University.
The real estate.
Okay, I'm not going to get into that debate today. Class of 99, to pursue a degree in sports management with a goal of becoming a sports agent. His career has taken many turns to include marketing for major well-known sports drink companies, as well as shifting to being a public school teacher and a coach, a college recruiter, sales director now for Signal 88 Security. So welcome to Visible Found Paid, Amani Wyatt.
Thanks for having me. Round of applause.
And the crowd goes wild. This one we need like the applause, but yeah. So
we can loop it in.
We can loop it in there. Yeah. We got to get a man a round of applause.
Thank you for having me.
Man, so Eric, you wanted to really have to sit down with your friend Amani. Tell me the backstory. How do you know each other? How did you grow to come into business and supporting each other?
Neighbors. We live about 5 doors down from each other.
Absolutely, yeah. We live in what I like to call an oasis within the city. We moved into the community about 11 years ago. I always kind of had my eye on the neighborhood, just a lot of the changes that happen in the neighborhood. It's the East Lake area, so those that are from Atlanta are familiar with a lot of the changes that have happened in that area. So we moved back to town from the DC area in about 2009, me and my wife and my daughter. And then Eric and his family moved.
Yeah, we're about 7 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, and just, found out we had some mutual connections. Again, my background, I was a sales director for Signal 88, and we did a lot of things in the multifamily space. So a lot of people that Eric was dealing with, I was dealing with, and we realized we had a lot of cross-pollination, if you will, with regard to that. And we just started talking about work, outside of life. We had a lot of things that were similarities. We both enjoy sports. You know, we have families, and we obviously live in the same neighborhood.
He's a Braves fan.
I'm A-Town everything. Atlanta Braves, Hawks, Falcons.
Eric sounds like a hater.
United.
Hey, you know, my New York roots run deep. So
Yeah, they come to Atlanta and can't forget, you know, that part. But they love the city.
Oh, wow. So, all right, you guys are neighbors. You found out you got some stuff in common, but you have a pretty extensive, diverse background in all that you've been doing.
Multifaceted.
Indeed. So what inspired you to make a shift now? You've had several really cool jobs as an employee, but you're an entrepreneur. Why now?
Honestly, the opportunity came knocking at my door. People have come to me over the years, and I've always had a desire. My father has an entrepreneurial background. And I was always trying to figure out a way, but just didn't know the way on how to get there. Really, the opportunity presented itself to me. I've had clients that came to me in the past and was like, why don't you start your own security firm? And things of that nature. And I just, because part of the headache of the industry itself, I just didn't know if it was something that I wanted to dive into. But when the opportunity presented itself, I had to take advantage of it. You know, I had to try to see what I could do to make it a reality, to set myself up for the freedom that I've always desired.
freedom isn't always free.
No, not at all. Freedom definitely has a cost.
That's the quote. That's the quote of the day.
Yeah.
Freedom is not always free. That's real. So tell us more. I'm gonna go backwards in your story a little bit.
Okay.
So tell us, you started as an employee with Signal 88, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
How does that work? Where you work for them and then it's like now you on your own. What does that look like?
It's there is no blueprint.
Okay.
I can honestly say, and this is the first time I'm saying this in this type of setting or environment, so it may be news to the individuals that were my former employers. But we had our ups and downs. Being in sales, you know, it's a commission-driven industry or business. There was some acrimony as far as some of those discussions about what my commission should have been versus what what it was versus what I thought I was owed. So I started working with the company in 2013. I have a resignation letter that I started writing in 2014. And it kind of grew over the years, but I knew I couldn't leave that situation until I had a better situation lined up. Yeah. So I stuck through it. You know, in any sales job, you know, you have your objectives and goals and things that you need to meet. So a good salesperson is going to find out and figure out how to work the system to their benefit. So I figured those things out. I made some decent money, obviously, in order to stick around for as long as I did. Not nearly as much as I feel like I should have earned or what I felt like I was worth for that matter. Yeah. But stick-to-itiveness is a real trait. It's something that I'm loyal to a fault in some situations. And I've never not worked. I've worked since I was 15, 16 years old, whether it be Foot Locker or whatever else I was doing. I've always had a job. So me leaving a job just because it wasn't this utopia type situation, I knew that I needed money to do the things that I enjoy doing in life. Right. So I continued to persevere through it, and the opportunity presented itself. It kind of came out of the blue. I literally thought I was going to get fired when they presented me the opportunity. It was one of those, hey, come sit down in the office, you know, let's talk. And they basically were in a position, I guess, where they had been in the business for a while and wanted to reward me for my loyalty and for the things that I had done for the company. As a salesperson, you know, a lot of people think it's just a transactional relationship. Right. But for me, when I sell, I know I'm selling me. People are buying into me as a part of Signal 88. So I wanted to make sure that we were always delivering what I and the client had discussed. You know, like if they expected X, Y, and Z, and I said we could deliver X, Y, and Z, I wanted to make sure that the guards were on point. I wanted to make sure that the operational staff was in place to deliver that. You know, there were many occasions where me and my wife were out at dinner, and I'm like, let's go swing by this apartment, or let's go swing by, you know, this site so I can go check on the guard to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And the owner saw that in me, saw that I took ownership beyond the sale. And I took on other roles within the business as well, within the company as well. I was a general manager for a period in time, and things of that nature. So I kind of learned the business from the rooter to the tutor, if you will. And they saw that I was someone who had a passion and cared, and presented me with the opportunity. And
so they came to you first about it.
yeah, they came to me about it.
Well, Amani was doing everything. We would have many curbside conversations.
Okay.
Doing sales, you was the GM, you was, doing on site if somebody couldn't make a shift. So it was just a lot of work. It wasn't just sales.
So I had an entrepreneurial spirit. I wasn't the owner, so I didn't have those benefits, if you will, of being the owner. But again, I'd never know what might present itself or what opportunities might present itself. So I just had to make sure that I was doing the best that I could, and I knew it was going to fall back on me, no matter what. So I take it from that perspective, and no matter what I did, I just wanted to make sure I was delivering for my clients and for myself.
And it's about the relationship. So, you go sell a deal, a client doesn't want to hear you're not the one executing. That's
right.
Your relationship.
And
so
I'm the
you
first
want to
call
make
they
sure.
made.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, a guard's not here or something happened. They're not calling the operations team. They're calling, the salesperson who they have the relationship with.
Right.
Correct. I love that. Like, even as the employee, you had an owner's mentality. So you were really thinking like an entrepreneur before stepping into the role of one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of sales. I mean, if you're a good salesperson, you have to think of it as your own business, because your success dictates what you eat. Eat what you kill. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, like I actually looked at my pay in reverse. Like, my commission was my salary, and my salary was my bonus. That's kind of that's the philosophy that I had. Like, I'm trying to make as much money as I can on this commission side, and I had goals, and the base pay is just, that was the fluff. But that was just my mentality.
That's good strategy, y'all. Take note if you're listening. So you shared a lot, but I want to pinpoint some specific parts of that journey. What were challenges in that shift for you of becoming an entrepreneur in your business and launching?
Well, word is not the operable word. It is. This happened. This literally happened in July of 2020 in the midst of a pandemic. So I'm still learning. I say it all the time. I don't know what I don't know yet. So it's definitely a learning process. We just got through with taxes and things of that nature. So figuring all that stuff out. Yeah. But being in a franchise concept does provide some support that someone who was delving into this unknown, they do provide support. So that is one of the benefits. I know we hadn't gotten to that point yet. But just learning the business, which I know, but again, from an owner's perspective, you're looking at it from more of a 50,000 square foot view versus, a drone at 150 feet. So just kind of removing yourself, you kind of know what your goals are. You have a vision for the company and your employees that you try to set and exude, because you got to lead by example. So just figuring it out. I just every day I'm just trying to figure out how to make myself more efficient with scheduling and calendars. With this business, it's a lot like the medical industry, and I just reference that because my wife is in the medical industry. It's 24/7. We're always on. We're actually supposed to be on when most people are off. So that's when most of my business happens. So just knowing that you could get a call, and then just trying to put that smile on your face when you get that call, because it's not always
you gotta get out of bed
the right time
at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
On vacation.
And those are the calls you don't want right there, but they happen. They happen, and you gotta be ready for them.
That's good. So I'd like to kind of hear from both your perspectives. You went the franchise route. You started not essentially from scratch. You had other businesses, but talking about the agency. Let's compare that a little bit. What's your journey like going the franchise model compared to Eric, your journey with your startup for the agency?
Yeah. Well, Amani referenced support. There was none for me. I had to kind of reach back and, because I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. So, you reach back on those skills. It's like reps. Like we both play sports, so Amani would get it. Like it's muscle memory. So you do things like, oh, I remember back in '99 when I did this, when I had this situation. So I try to surround myself with people who've done things. They may have not done this agency thing, but they've done other businesses. So whether it's taxes, whether it's personnel issues, whether it's HR and all of that, you can call somebody. Yeah. But ultimately, and I go through that with Amani. I'm like, dude, you need to do boom, boom, boom. Yep. Amani still ain't done it.
I'm working on it.
Did he just
it's happening.
Yeah, you have to learn though, because if you've never done it, it's like, nah, I'm gonna go through all these other ways
like
first,
raising a kid.
Because I don't really want to do. Well, I don't want to spend the money, because I don't have the money.
Yeah.
A lot of it is that I don't have the money, but sometimes if you spend that money that you don't have, it frees you up to do some other things. Your brain power and all of that to create more revenue. So it's kind of, it's a roll of the dice, but, that's what it is. But yeah, kind of being out on the island by yourself and just figuring out and being responsible. I think, Amani has a unique challenge in the midst of the pandemic. I think a lot of people do where, whether it's you're in the food industry or things like that, where you're not necessarily have a lot of skilled employees per se, with unemployment benefits being so high, with the government giving out so much money, it behooves a lot of people not to work.
I know.
So you have personnel issues.
Yeah, major labor shortage right now.
Yeah. Is it? There's a lot of people not working.
The shortage is on the desire to work.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to reframe that economic term. Yeah. So from your perspective of what he said, how does that work?
There's still similarities. So honestly, I took the skills, the training, all of the things that were invested in me as an employee, whether it was as a recruiter, as a teacher, doing marketing, grassroots marketing, things of that nature. I took all of those things in addition to the sales, and I used those things as kind of a foundation for me as an entrepreneur with the franchise concept. So I had the support from the franchise, but at the end of the day, we're responsible for our operations. It don't get it twisted. They get their money before I even get mine. So in some aspects, I guess you can say I am still an employee. We're never totally free. Even Eric, he got to answer to Uncle Sam.
Yes.
And to your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And always
employers.
that part. So I just kind of took the things that I've learned throughout my journey and try to apply them. I've always been a big believer in education and training. So that's one of the things that I try to impart in my employees. I haven't, to be real, had the opportunity to do as much as I would like to. Having only been in business for 8-9 months now, technically. But it's a process. We're getting there. I think I have a good team that's with me. Shout out to Catrice. And so we're on our way. And I just take all of the things that I've learned professionally and personally and apply that to the business. And it's helped me to get to where I am right now.
And I think another challenge for you too, you could disagree if you want, but you didn't buy a little business. You bought a 7-figure business. I mean, you're grossing well over $1 million yearly. So it's not, okay, let's, have 1 or 2 contracts to get our feet wet. It's you diving right in the pool.
Yeah, so I bought an existing, this is actually because I was the director of sales.
Because our listeners, we don't hear this side.
Yeah.
You always hear people just straight up getting it out of the mud, like just from scratch.
Right.
But talk about.
No, there's some mud over there too, though.
Well,
yeah. My kicks stay dirty.
Yeah, it's a different kind.
Yeah, different kind of mud.
Yeah, talk about that.
So the beauty of it was being director of sales, I had already had the relationships developed. So it was kind of a no-brainer. So I had, opportunities to kind of grow the business from that perspective. But what happened is I bought an existing business that had existing contracts. So it was pretty much turnkey. And that is one of the I just kind of came to my mind about some of the negative things with a franchise. They're typically used to dealing with someone who's building it from scratch. So they have a model, if you will, of what you should look like day one versus day 180 versus year 3. I kind of came in on a year 3 plan without the trials and tribulations and all the other things that you learn, education that you learn along the way. So I'm taking AP courses, but I was probably in like 5th grade with regard to, the things that I knew from a ownership perspective. So I definitely was thrown into the deep end of the pool. And so it's working itself out. But again, that's what I'm learning. And that's also what they're not quite ready for. And I've talked to the franchisor, if you will, about that. Like, there should be other people like me that work for this organization. There should be other Amanis that have worked for Signal 88 for 6 or 7 years that are given the opportunity to do something like this. You all need to develop a training program that is specifically for individuals like us that already know the brand because they've been a part of it. But what do we need to do in order to be successful as an owner so that we can continue to grow the brand? Bad news travels faster than good news. So we have to make sure that we're putting out a good product, a good business that people can buy into and know and can recognize. So my goal, I talked about my employees. I would like to do the same thing that was done for me at some point. Turn it over, give them an opportunity to grow and, help their families and, make this a legacy thing. So that's where we are.
I love that. So that's how you create wealth and legacy and pass that on to other people. So out of all the careers and things you've done prior to, I read your bio, man. You, like you said, multifaceted.
Yeah.
How's the security industry vastly different? And then what did you glean or learn from all the other experiences for this?
I kind of said it before. The security industry is different in that we're always on, and more than likely on when most people are not on. So we have to constantly provide data and information to our clients so that they know they're getting what it is they're paying for. If we're there after hours and the office is closed, like, what are you guys doing here? Is the guard asleep? All those things that we have to deal with, that is not just a Signal 88 issue, it's an industry-wide issue. So that's why we use technology to kind of drive performance, for guard tracking, everything from cameras to GPS to photos and reports that have to be fresh. They can't be duplicated. I can't take a picture last week and put it in my report this week. So we do a lot of different things to put our clients at ease, to let them know that we're here, that we are doing our job and that we're on point. So it's similar in that, and I hate to say this because I don't want people or my employees to think of it, but I feel like I'm a teacher in many ways. Like, I have a whole bunch of students that I have to keep up with. The difference is they're at multi-sites, various places. How do I keep up with them? How do I make sure they're turning in their assignments? How do I make sure that they're getting the education that they need during the day in order to be successful and move on to the next endeavor, whether that be with Signal 88 or elsewhere. Like, I know this is bigger than me. So I know for some people, coming to work for me is just a stopping point, but I want to make sure that I provide them with the tools, the resources, and the foundation that they can take whatever they learn with me, whether it be business or personally, and take that to the next step and be successful in that endeavor. And they can be like, I remember when Amani said blah, blah, blah. So I know that, again, it's bigger than me. And that it's, for some people, like I said, it's just a stop. For other people, it's a destination. I have some people that have worked for Signal 88 and now work for me and have been there as long as I have. And I want to make sure that they're taken care of. They feel like they're fairly taken care of. I can say that one of the biggest things is I would like to pay my employees more, but unfortunately the industry dictates what the bill rate is. I feel like everybody should have a working wage. I feel like if I could pay you $20 an hour and I can get mine too, then let's do it. But unfortunately, you have bigger competitors that kind of drive down prices, et cetera. So the way that I try to combat that is providing a better quality. If my clients start to see and hear, word of mouth and referrals is everything. If my clients start to see those things, that we're providing a better service, then I can justify a higher bill rate and then thus pay my employees more. Okay. So, yeah.
So what has, I guess, been your biggest surprise was, like, oh shit, I was, man, cause I have that, right? You know, I joke, I'm like, man, if I knew it was gonna be this hard with all this HR stuff and employees, I would have stayed in my dining room. You know, what has been that? Like, I did not anticipate this.
Well, I don't think I've had that moment yet.
Okay.
To be I haven't had that oh shit moment. Because having been the general manager before, I literally worked for a group that was kind of out of pocket. You know, they kind of literally turned it over to me. So I had most of the responsibilities without the benefits again of being an owner. So for me, and it's not that big of a deal because I have the support and I have you that has helped me obviously along the way as well, was just, you know, keeping up with, you know, the tax stuff, you know, payroll kind of manages itself, you know, accounts payable. But fortunately I got clients that pay on time and all that other stuff. So I don't have to spend a lot of time.
I guess that's some of the benefit of the franchise too, right? Being in the franchise structure where they could, they have those systems in place already where you don't have to create one on your own. Yeah. You just kind of plug in and you're good.
Plug and play. Yeah. Yeah. So I haven't had that moment yet. I know it's coming. You know, I'm always kind of prepared for, you know, that. And I kind of said, control the controllables. You know, I can't control what other people do. I can control how I react to it. So I try to stay cool when the S hits the fan, so to speak, and figure out what do I need to do to solve this or fix this problem. And fortunately, to date, I haven't had that type of moment yet.
So going unscripted for a moment here, like Eric, how have you in the Cool Source in any way supported Amani and Signal 88 to be visible for our page?
Provided some office space early on and a desk. there was many times, you know, we left Amani.
I was squatting.
We left them up here, you know, collecting payroll checks, all of that good stuff. I mean, but outside of we haven't done anything marketing. I mean, I could say myself personally, just being a sounding board. You know, just. Again, we meet up outside on the sidewalk and have many sidewalk conversations. You know, and that's, I would tell anybody, get a good group of people around you. Like in our neighborhood, we're lucky. There's people that do all kind of stuff. And, you know, between me and Amani, Xavier, you know, we spent many hours on the sidewalk just, you know, chopping it up about business and, you know, just different things that pertaining to business. So, you know, he knows he can call me anytime and just resources. You know, he's dealing with Tierra now on the books and, you know, just having somebody you could reach out to and say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z. You know, from the legal side, you know, getting all the paperwork and ducks in a row. It's a lot, man. Business is a lot. You know, you want to have all your I's dotted, especially in security. Like, it's very important to have, you know, whether it's insurance and contracts, all of that stuff needs to be in place. And, you know, he's had to learn a lot real fast.
So, Amani, given a franchise model is different from what Eric said with the agency, does that leave you any room for innovation or inserting your own ideas or marketing or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of marketing, I can invest more money in marketing if I feel like they're not sufficiently providing the service we need. I hadn't gotten to that point yet because Eric kind of also mentioned I'm always worried about the money. Like I got access to money, I just don't have money. But from a operator perspective, we are, you know, independent and we can kind of create our own spaces. A prime example would be with the pandemic, we've had some clients that have requested and for us to do temporal scanning, temperature scans to make sure people aren't showing any signs of fever or anything like that. So we've been able to adapt and create opportunities, and the clients really have driven that. You know, sometimes they'll call us and say, "Hey, can you do this?" And say, "Sure, absolutely." And then we have to figure it out on the back end. We reverse engineer it. It's kind of bass backwards in a lot of ways, but when the opportunity presents itself, you know, we like to try to take advantage of it and provide a service when the opportunity is there. So, yes.
Cool. So, any final advice, thoughts, tips to give to anyone in entrepreneurship or shifting from an employee to entrepreneur?
Don't be scared. Just
Nah, you
take,
can't be scared.
yeah, just if the opportunity is there, and you see it and you want it, take advantage of it when it's presented to you. Like I said, I was fortunate in the position that I was given. I always like to say I'm lucky, and my friends, they try to tell me, or they do tell me, that you're not lucky, man. You earned this. You put up with a lot of BS over the years, and people saw it and recognized it, and for whatever the reason, you were in the right position, and
The stars align with the moon.
right, and then you were in a position to actually take advantage of it. And I couldn't have done that without the support of others. Eric, obviously, my wife and family, they've been supportive as well. So just, don't be afraid. You'll learn. Nothing beats a fail but a try. So put if the opportunity is there, figure it out. Make sure you surround yourself with good people that can provide you support. That might not always be financially. That could be just from a support, just a sounding board. So just make sure you got a good circle of friends that you can kind of call upon. And I can definitely say that I have that from the neighborhood.
You can't surround yourself with yes men.
Nah.
That's not going to get you anywhere. You need people that's going to shoot straight with you.
Yeah. I see a lot of YouTubers that's got videos out there that shouldn't be out there because they got yes men.
No one
Tell
called
them
them out.
that song is hot.
Yeah.
Nah, don't tell me my
post
song
that.
is hot if it's not. Yeah. So yeah, just making sure you got your good people around you, knowing that it's going to be some hard work, knowing that there's no off days, but embracing it, and stepping up to the challenge.
And that's the goal, right? You put in the work now, and hopefully you can get to the point where you could
delegate,
or hey, I'm gonna run this up, and I'm gonna sell a territory. You know what I mean? So that you looking for that buyout maybe.
That's the goal.
So it's a long road though.
Yeah,
it's a long road. It's
and not straight. It's
no.
definitely winding.
No, I liken it to you're running across the ice while people throwing boulders at you.
Oh man. Well,
And notice I said running.
I don't know how
you
attractive that sounds.
You don't have skates, but
I want to know who throwing boulders.
Whoa,
I need them on my team.
life is throwing the
Life
boulders.
is right.
But you figure it out, and it gets easier. You might get you one skate, and then you might get another. I feel like I'm halfway skating right now. But the boulders still come.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the beauty of it. That it keeps you on edge. It keeps you. I tell people that a little bit of fear is healthy. That little bit of nervousness. It lets you know. When you get too comfortable.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, you start missing things.
Mm-hmm. So the fear, as you quoted in the previous episode, the fear lets you know you're alive.
Yeah.
That you're still here to feel it and go through it.
I get nervous when I'm not nervous.
Oh.
It's like, what's going on?
Like, wait, it's too calm.
Yeah, it's too quiet. Nobody's calling me,
It's when the sharks come and the water's calm.
Yeah, so,
That's good stuff. So, Amani, how can we stay connected with you and find out more about Signal 88?
Well, we have, you can always go to our main landing page, which is www.signal88.com. If you need me and my team specifically, look for South Atlanta. There are multiple owners in the Atlanta area. We're all happy to help. Some things may be in my territory, some may not, but we all provide the same service, the same quality. I don't really have any social media platforms.
You have a direct email address where the people can
Absolutely.
connect with you? Yeah.
So the number, the email address is Wyatt, so AWYATT at signal88.com. And you can reach us directly at 770-274-8415 if you have any inquiries or need any help. We definitely would love to provide a customizable security-based solution for you. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity to be here. And
so real quick though, what kind of businesses would
That's good.
everybody
would utilize the service?
Yeah. So
when you say security, is it armed security? Is it bodyguards? Is it on-site security? Is it patrol? Like what?
we do it all. So we do armed in the right situation. So if you're interested in that, call me and we can figure out if your situation is right. We provide patrol services, which is kind of unique. We have marked vehicles that are easily identifiable. They got the light bar, they fully decked out, cameras, dash cams, all that other good stuff, so we can document what's going on. So we provide a patrol service, which is a really affordable way to provide a service for a client that may not have a big bankroll for security. And then we provide your traditional security guard services, everything from scanning individuals in, through metal detectors and things of that nature, to basic patrolling and amenities checks and multifamily. We work it all. So we have retail space, we have commercial entities that we work with, events. One of the areas that I would really like to get my feet wet and Atlanta's a hub for is the television and film industry.
Yes.
So if anybody out there is looking, we provide a great service. Definitely give us a call. Ready for that next endeavor. That's the next vertical we're trying to attack at this point.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Well, guys, you've been tuned in to Visible Found Paid. You've heard Amani share how to secure the bag, and he can even help secure your business and
really secure your bag.
And really secure your bag. Hey, I love it.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is great. Thank you so much for being our first in-house guest.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Hey, we love it. We love it. So, guys, you've been tuned in, but wait, before you go, do us a favor. If this information was valuable to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button and let your community know about Visible Found and Paid. Also, leave us a review. We want to continue to bring you great content like this and more. Check out behind the scenes on our YouTube channel if you want to watch our interview with our special guest. Also, you can learn more about The Cool Source on our YouTube channel and at the www.thecoolsource.net.
Why do y'all say www?
I don't know, but see, now we can scratch it and just...
there.
thecoolsource.net, where you can be visible, found, and
World Wide Web.
Hey.
there you go, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Hey.
I know.